Why am I
Welcome,
frozen
everybody.
again?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Welcome to the Evercade podcast. You're stuck with me and Crow. Rich is off being Gandalf.
Again.
Yeah, haven't heard from Pete. No, I think Rich is really busy because I texted him the other day and I said asked him if he was going to join and told. Oh, speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. I may have just summoned him.
I was gonna say we haven't seen him in like a month.
Yeah. I think he'll jump in on me. There he is. Cool.
Well,
I summoned you.
how's it going?
Awesome. So happy you're here. Yeah, I was just saying I texted you yesterday asking if you were going to be here, saying you'd be missed, and you appeared. So it worked.
Yes. I actually just literally picked up my phone because yesterday was crazy, and my phone died. And then I picked up my phone and I saw the text message. They're like, well, I might as well come on.
It worked.
That's weird. It's funny that you're having problems with your phone. I'm having a problem too now. Same problem I have with every phone I buy. It's the battery started swelling.
Oh no. Yeah, mine hasn't started swelling, but it's a 16 max. So it's just starting to get into that, like, hey, you charge it and you can't get anywhere close to a full day anymore.
Oh,
so
no, it's like it's every Samsung phone. It's not just Samsung, all the Samsung phones I've ever had, but it's always the Samsung phones that the battery will swell like in less than 2 years. But that's why I have insurance on the phone, so I'll just get a replacement for free.
There you go.
Did you just come back from a wedding?
What?
Yeah,
actually,
you're looking dapper.
That's because I'm going to a wedding literally after we're done here.
Oh, that's cool though. That's
so DF was kind of close. I mean, so I guess it depends on where he is, but for here, it's a little bit too early to be coming back from a wedding.
Well, that's
that's
true. Yeah, coming back from a wedding at 10 a.m. that'd be
yes.
So
cool. Well, awesome, Rich.
So I'm taking off exactly at like 11.
Okay.
Exactly. We got to hurry this up, everyone. I'm kidding. All right, so
there's nothing to talk about. So we got all the.
I got to show my poll and some other things, and we can ask Rich share his thoughts on some stuff. But let's say hi to the chat real quick. I think
Yep.
Got some people. We got Rasta in the house. We got member of the channel Lloyd.
Hey.
We got Genejoke. Which, by the way, I have to give an extra. I always give you an extra special shout out. He has been my guide and savior through Tomb Raider. Him and Immortal. Like, if it wasn't seriously, dude. If it wasn't for him, I would have probably gotten like frustrated with the. And I'm not talking about like the combat or the tank controls, but just kind of like where the hell to go. But it's great though because he'll give me hints. Like he won't. So he'll be like, "Hey, go back the way you just came." And the funny thing is, he even admits he's like, "I kind of remember this." So it's kind of neat. Like we're kind of like figuring out together. And every now and then, other people in the chat will help. So
that's very cool.
Yeah, I got channel member Herbors.
What's going on?
F. Join the community. We'll have a blast. And then RMGB TV.
Yes.
Morley. You got Morley Bruxton. I Heart Retro. Yeah, I said your name right. You got Dan Ruff. And you have Andre 4S's. So welcome everybody. Hope everyone is doing good. I'm doing a lot better with my cold or whatever. So
that's very good.
Yeah.
But to reply to RMGB TV, 1, thanks, and 2, yes, seriously, like for real. That's gonna be. I got a lot of catching up to do, but I would expect several very late breaking news lines to come in the very near future, and one of which is definitely going to be talking about that announcement from the State of Play. I don't talk about like stuff that's happening in PS4, PS5, all that stuff very often, but I will now. That's for sure.
And I was going to say, I would imagine too, you'll probably talk about like how Lunar, like the remasters on Switch.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I found out about it because people were like freaking out about the fact that they announced it during the State of Play.
Yeah, okay, that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it's the Lunar 2, the Lunar 1 and 2 remaster. Now that opens the door though, bringing it back to the Evercade.
Yeah,
it opens the door because that means Gung Ho purchased the English rights somehow from either Working Designs Direct or retranslated it from Game Arts, which means they have the opportunity to put out the PSX version everywhere else. So why not Evercade?
I'm a little confused. Are you saying that during the PlayStation State of Play, they announced Lunar for the Switch?
No, they announced Lunar 1 and 2 remastered collection for PS4 and PS5.
Okay.
And then after that, it broke that it was going to Xbox and Switch.
Well, that means it's probably going to be on PC too.
Yeah, it'll be on Steam. I think you can already. I think you can already. You can already wish list it or whatever. But
there's actually no reason to stick to one platform or another because everything winds up on PC.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But for me, like, it's cool to make sure that, like, all right, that's awesome. There's going to be some like really cool stuff happening with like trophies and all that kind of stuff for those people that are into that. But there's been some talk that the translation won't be the work designs one. Yeah, I think I've done some digging in my break, and I think I've confirmed that indeed, yeah, it's a totally new translation. In fact, actually, the voice actors, the original voice actors, which are around because they're actually working on a project that was kickstarted about 8 months ago, a new game that I would love to see actually on Evercade as well, called God's Dream Chronicles, God Shard Chronicles. Really interesting project. And this guy that's making the project got everybody that was in Lunar basically together. The composer, some of the artists, 3 of the voice actors, the original voice actors from Lunar 1 and Lunar 2. But as soon as that news broke, the person that's doing the project went to them and said, "Hey, did anyone reach out to you for doing voices?" And they all said no. Like, the original voice of Galleon is in this God Shard Chronicles project. And he was like, "Yeah, they didn't reach out to me to do any like voice casting or any of that." So that means like there's probably a new voice for Galleon in this stuff, which is weird because he's around and he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'd be Galleon again." And I'm like, "Wow, that's weird." So yeah, very interesting stuff. So more on that.
Speaking of shards, it's quite unfortunate that iHeart says his VS is pooping the bed.
Oh,
that sucks. That really sucks. Hopefully, it's still maybe within warranty, and they can replace it. Oh, Tomb Raider is being sold out in Scout.
Oh, really? So you can't even get the VSR?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's one of those things where it's very interesting that they have this new product and they just can't seem to be like pushing that out. Like, the R was supposed to be like, oh, hey, this is the new one and you can get it every day and it's going to be great. And you know, and it's still just the VS. So
you know what? They wouldn't be having this problem if they would have just called it the VS and just say, "Hey, the VS is a new lower price," and just not even mention that it's any sort of redesign because there kind of isn't on the exterior. So just say, "Hey, it's a new color, whatever," you know. Yeah. And then scalpers wouldn't be like buying them up to sell them because, like, it's literally just the VS.
Yeah.
Ops World Night.
Switch it off. That's interesting.
What's interesting is sometimes, I don't know, like the carts, make sure it's not the cart, because like I swear to God, when I got my initial like Good Boy Galaxy cart, it didn't detect and like slot 1 right away. It did slot 2, and then after a while, it started working fine every single time. So I don't know if it could have been me or.
It might, yeah, it might. That sounds like it might be the cartridge because I've had that happen on occasion, and if it was a couple carts, and just keep on inserting it, taking it out, inserting it, taking it out until it eventually works.
Yeah, well,
try cleaning the cart. Yeah.
On that one though, if it's a VSR, like if you got the new one and it's doing that, I mean, I would just call support. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
but it sounded like
it's so new. You might as well just get it fixed. You know?
It sounded like this was happening. Unless I was misreading, but it just sounded like this was. Oh, it does say VSR keeps Okay, never mind. I thought he was talking about the original VS.
Fit on a giggity cart. Maybe not the remasters, but the original would fit.
No, the Lunar 1 and 2 complete, Silver Star Story complete, and Eternal Blue complete should fit on one.
Yeah,
Giga cart. You should be able to fit it. I mean,
the thing I learned here is like, okay, even with the Tomb Raider collection, even though the cart is a Giga cart, it doesn't mean that all the games that on the cart equal a gig. In fact, they have to be less than a gig because the cart can only hold a gig.
Well, they didn't say that it was only a gig. They did say that it was up to, like, they didn't say even up to. They said at least a gig. So there could be other Giga carts that are like, this one we just splurge the extra. It's 2 gigs, so that way it can fit the 2 games on it. You know what I mean?
Okay, but if they do another, like if it's a 2 gig cart, is that opening the door up for them to actually increase the price more because a 2 gig cart would cost more than a 1 gig cart?
I mean, we haven't gotten to that road yet, but I would imagine, hopefully, no. Like, because I mean, a 1 gig cell in bulk or a 2 gig cell in bulk, when you're I mean, it can't be that much more. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't remember. How big were the carts before the giga carts?
I think somebody tested them to like 500 or something, 500 meg.
They could be up to that.
So about half a. So it was half a gig.
About half a gig, yeah.
So doubling that increased the price like $5.
Yeah.
Do you think doubling that again would increase the price
another $5? Yeah, maybe.
The one thing I noticed about the giga carts, either Tomb Raider is hella optimized, or it's it's faster. Because like I will say that when you do saves on PlayStation, it saves it really quickly. Like if you were playing a Nintendo game, because I mean sometimes it'll still do the stutter like the, but it doesn't do it nearly as bad as the other carts. I don't know if it's just because it's optimized or whatever. Shouldn't hardware be a part? Well, I mean it's all important. But yeah, Tomb Raider is awesome. The only dilemma now, because I'm definitely next week, be getting like Legacy of Kain and Bitmap Brothers, and I know I'm going to want to get into that RPG, but I need to finish Tomb Raider, and then there's the 2 more Tomb Raiders, which who knows, I may come back to another time. Okay, so here's something cool that I wanted to talk about in the poll. Are you all familiar with the UFO 50 collection?
No.
Okay. We need to show what that is, because it's like in short, it's kind of like if they were to do like another like Pico. It's kind of, how do I say? It's like a newer Pico collection done right, kind of, or that's a little bit too harsh. But it's kind of. Let me show you this, and then it affects the poll. Because in my opinion, this is something that like. Okay, that should be. Let's see. Can you all see that? Yes. Okay. That should be on Evercade. So basically what it is, it's a collection of like 50 games, but they're like, they're all like original games. So I said they're like a Pico or Mega Cats.
Oh, sure, yeah. Like almost like an Indie Heroes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like looking at the art style of this, like, dude, this is the type of stuff that like I think this could fit on a Giga Cart. Like this is the type of stuff that I would really love to see, even if it was like a UFO 25, although I didn't ask that, but
what's the price?
It's $24.99. Actually, what are the requirements here real quick?
Oh, do you think that would really come out? Do you think they'd really release a cart with 50 games on it? Because honestly, I think they would have to double that price to put it on a cart. And I don't think they're going to put out a cart for $50.
It depends. Yeah. No, it depends. Well, there's the secret way to get around that is to split it to 2 collections. But even if they did that though, I mean, if they could, for the licensing, if they could get this on a physical cart, would be
if they part 1, part 2'd it, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I would be willing to bet they'd do it in 3 parts.
Yeah, sure.
Whoa.
Yeah. Even in 3, I'd still be in.
So here's what I
need to get a cart.
Yeah, no. So here's what I asked, because I wasn't sure, like it says 500, if they would need a little more space. For the fun of it, I said, would you be excited if the UFO 50 collection came to Evercade on a Giga Cart? So kind of like saying, like, let's say it was like the $25 price rate. I asked people, hell yes, hard pass, mid. Really, like only 20%. Wow, people aren't as excited about hard pass.
Well, I mean, I think.
Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't be excited about it, but I'd still buy it. So what option is that?
I mean,
yeah.
Like hard pass, I still buy.
Yeah, I'd be in it. I'd be in it.
Yeah. Because what I was thinking would be that would be like great to put like in a super pocket, or like if you wanted a cart to go traveling.
1.2 giga cart.
No, I didn't. Oh, the Giga Cart. Yeah.
Well, no, the RMGB TVs. So 1.2 giga carts full of the Back to the Future games. That's hilarious. Oh, by the way, we might have to 1 into it, but Silver Star Story Complete would fit on a gigacart with compression.
Yeah.
Because uncompressed, it's just over.
How many discs was that? There were those 2 discs.
It was 2 discs, and it had.
It depends on the data that was on it
and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this is a great question, because the funny thing is, I don't know, even sometimes Pete brings this up. And so it's kind of like, if you have that mindset, then it's like, well, then what's the whole point of the Evercade? And the point of it is to be able to have, really the point of the Evercade is to be able to have to be able to experience curated collections and physical media, and have like an instruction booklet and have it be official. That's like the whole.
Yeah, you say that, but that's only if you feel like experiencing it.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's what I always tell people. Look, if you just want to play the games, then just download the ROMs and play them on your PC, or like if there's something you can buy like that, then just play it on Steam and then don't. And that's like Evercade it's not for everybody. So that's kind of the optimum. Yeah.
So let me jump in here real quick, because DES 95 had a question that I wanted to answer that was starting to get a little far back in the chat. This one was, hello, it's been a while since I watched one of these lives. Do you guys have a central location where we can go back and watch old episodes like I do for the Intellivision Aries podcast? The answer technically right now is no, but over on this channel over here, the Big and Ice Cream Productions guy, I did make a playlist called the Evercast Archive, and we'll actually be either linking, relinking, or putting back up the audio version of all the legacy Evercast. So everything that was on Pete's old channel, I have access to.
Ooh.
So only in audio form though. So I'm going to put them back up in audio form with, like, I don't know, it's like a placeholder or something like that with maybe some little information. So those will all go back up on my channel soon. I've been trying to work on that project to put it up on like iTunes and like that kind of stuff, but it's been so crazy that has been backburnered like 12 times. But I hope to get back to that. Then, of course, the entire archive of the Bacon Ice Cream, saga of the Evercast is still live. So you can just go to the channel and there's an Evercast playlist. You could go to the Evercast playlist and watch them all. And then, of course, also archived on Ed's channel right here in the Evercade Effect is every single Evercast we've ever done. So you just
go back and, you know what I need to do, Rich? I didn't even think of this. In the description of Evercast, actually, I should link to that playlist on your site, and then I should link to that audio archive.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't even. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Remind me when we're done to get the links, and I'll put that in the description so that way people want to go back.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely shake off the rust on all that kind of stuff. The big giant thing, the reason why I've been so gone this past month, is the fact that there's an incredibly large amount of things happening over at work, but they all have to do with like really cool computer related upgrades that are happening all over the place. And after all that project stuff is done, there could and should, so some fake would, be some downtime where I can work on projects like this. So I will start doing that.
Nice.
Yeah. It's fun times. Oh, also, Lunar 2 might be a little bit of an issue. Uncompressed, it's almost over 2 gigs. It's like 1.8 gig uncompressed.
Well, how many discs was that?
That was 3 with the making of.
Are you talking about the Sega CD, right?
No, PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the PlayStation 1 version of Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete. No, the Sega CD versions are fine because it's just one CD and one CD, and that's it. So there wasn't like, they could put those on a regular cart today, and it'd be fine. But the problem with that is licensing, because those are all like working designs and like that kind of stuff. So you have to go the Game Arts route, and the only way we get them, those games, is going to go through the new Gung Ho Entertainment guys that are doing whatever they're doing with the translations, because that's the rub. The rub is like all the work that Working Designs put into those things, and I guess Vic Ireland is just asking for too much money for all that stuff. That's been the case for a long time, but now that there's a new option to get those games over, I'd say strike while they are hot, because those games are awesome, and I would absolutely love them on Evercade. So
I was gonna say thank you, DS. He's be listening. Appreciate
oh,
that.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, man.
We'll make that happen, or at least we'll get the links there so you'll be able to go. But you know what though, I'm kind of glad to see that happening because because it's just you can't it's just a translation, right? So if it's just like, hey, he's being stubborn about, I'm glad to see other companies like, no, we can just translate it cheaper and put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's
absolutely.
Great. Showed up for VGA is on they're on, they're usually on the money. I was happy to get my on the 26th, happy to get my notifications. He's got his.
I was kind of disappointed to get that notification.
You were here's the only the funny thing, and of course I have to have an ever complaint with that, is I wish I had now that I'm sucked into Tomb Raider, of course I'm gonna have to go play the Legacy of Kane's. But then it's will I go back to Tomb Raider? I wish I had wished that I had Tomb Raider for.
See, they're releasing things too close to each other.
Well, you don't have to bounce away from Tomb Raider. You could just leave it.
That's why I'm right now got 4 collections on my shelf that I haven't looked at yet.
Yeah.
Well, it's a kind of good problem to have, I guess. It's one of those things where, if I put in those games and fall in love, I'm like, dude, okay, I'm streaming that.
Yeah.
So it does just.
Yeah, no, that's a good point there, RMGB.
Some of Victor Island's games haven't aged. The original translation. So maybe it's for the.
Some of that stuff is maybe for the best, but the nostalgia bug, especially with the voice actors, if they have to do all new voice actors and all that kind of stuff. It's
Iron's asking for new reviews from you, Crow.
Oh, I finished C64 Collection 3. I have stuff written out for it. I just haven't had time to record anything. So, and it might not have a time. I can't even do anything Sunday. I'm going to be busy Sunday, so it might not even be another week before I start working on it.
Yeah. No, it's kind of funny because last night when I was streaming, I was talking about C64 and that's funny because me and Gene have kind of come to in agreement of a way that kind of sums up C64, at least the collections. It's very
no, you can't talk about C64. I saw your videos on C64 Collection 3.
Yeah, and you responded to it in Japanese, which is funny.
Because I was thinking of Jotaro. I was literally quoting Jotaro Kujo because he spent less than 5 minutes on many of the games.
But here's the summary though. C64, they're very experimental. They kind of remind me a lot of something you'd see on Itch.io, but they're made on people who did a lot of drugs. But the difference is though they went.
You're not. I don't think you're very familiar with the gaming landscape was for computers back in the 80s.
No. I understand that. But the difference though is that
all right, but those people were on drugs.
No, listen.
I guarantee you, many of those people were not on drugs.
Now, here's the difference though. Atari didn't let that bleed into their games. They didn't put it right in your face where it was obvious. I feel with Atari, it unlocked more the creative side of this. It's just I kind of jokingly said if Centipede was on C64. Not only would you be shooting things, but the screen would be flashing, and there'd be 50,000 things going all over the screen, and you'd be able to go to the
they'd improve the game, make it way better.
I was about to say, I was have you seen Yar's Revenge? There's only one way that game gets made.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
There's only one way that game gets made.
Oh, dude, no, I love. I love.
And Howard admitted it, so.
I love black. Yes, but it's totally different. They're a lot, but I mean, C64, they're a lot more more experimental.
Yeah.
Experimental.
I get where you're coming from.
Everything back then was experimental. It was
an industry. They were programmed by a 10-year-old, and they just said, "Go ahead and program this. Put everything that you want into the game." There wasn't Nintendo had a seal of quality for a reason. So it's. But it's for
that reason was that the people paid them to publish the game. That was the reason.
But yeah, they're I want to say they feel just really way.
What cracked me up is Street Sports Soccer is not a good game, but you never did play the game. You never made it past the menus because you didn't even read the menus. You just
God.
kept hitting the button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a dead-
Yeah, that is 100% correct.
Yeah. Well, if you can't get into the game, then it's not worth playing. It's like,
Because it would ask you to pick a team, and you kept saying cancel, and then you got confused. Why did it send me back to the beginning?
yes.
You didn't pick a team.
Oh yeah. I got yes, Jeff Mentor experimented with psychedelics. That's what I mean. Like you can totally, like, oh my God, you can totally tell. But like with that said,
that's why his games are some of the best. That's why people love his games.
I don't know. It's nostalgia.
That's why there's a Jeff Minter collection on I know it's on Steam.
Yeah.
Like done in the same way as like the Atari 50 and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Digital
Yeah.
Eclipse.
Digital Eclipse did that for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't say that people don't like his games when they do something that specifically for him.
No, definitely. No. It's definitely a specific niche crowd. That's all. And then I kind of got on the thing where like I was saying, like, listen, I love and respect that Blaze is like a British company or whatever, and they've done, but like they need to, like, I'm hoping that they need to start to moving away from like those type of niches. They need to start moving away with sports games. I'm hoping that they broaden, and they're slowly kind of doing that. Like if they want to,
they need to put more sports games, but the good ones, not the ones that aren't good.
Right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Yeah, must have been tripping. Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of what I mean, because like this was the year that, and again, like I do like Picos have been a crapshoot, but this has kind of been a year where like new hardware groans, computer collections groans, and like Picos groans. But with
what do you mean groans? What are you talking about groans? What are you talking about, like groaning or
not having the excitement? Just like
so far, the C64 Collection 3 is one of the best cartridges I played that came out this year.
For you, but that's what it's niche though. That's what I'm. It's like it's a niche within a niche.
Literally every collection you could claim is a niche of some kind or another.
No, I'll put it this way: if there's anybody that says, this is a strong statement, if there's anybody that says like the Namco collection sucks, then you're not like a retro gamer. I'm sorry. If anybody does not like Namco, you're not a retro gamer. I will say that, because that's like there's some
what if they don't like Namco games, but they like Konami or Capcom? That
would be weird, because like
there's somebody out there that's like that.
Maybe I would say that. I would say they weren't born when we were, because like that's that's like a classic staple where somebody can find, and like Pac-Man is a classic character. And the Gatekeeper, yes.
Well, I could claim that those Namco collections aren't that good, because we got the console versions of those games when the arcade games exist.
See, that's a fair.
Pac-Man, like the Pac-Man on the Namco collection is the NES version, but a lot of people don't like the NES version.
And that's a fair statement. and I'm fine with that. But like Namco is beloved, Konami, Capcom. Or I'm more upset, like if people don't like those, if you don't like Konami, Capcom, or Namco, get the hell out of here. Like seriously, because that's like what we like that. Like that's what we grew up. That's like
and if you don't like the C64 games, get the hell out of here.
But no, I kind of like no, I kind of and again for me though, I kind of came like I grew up with like DOS gaming, where like the games would be more enhanced, and like I give like the example I was kind of giving last night was stunts, right? Because like let's say like on a Nintendo, you wouldn't have enough memory to save tracks and do all those crazy things. Like DOS games always felt like an enhancement, that which is kind of like the difference versus I don't know. I'll get off my season. But no, kind of the Bitmap Brothers, I am excited about that. Like the Bitmap Brothers, like that for like when I think of like retro like PC gaming, like those excite me. Like the graphic styles, the way that they're presented. I don't know. I could say that I hope I don't have to say they're the Shitmap Brothers, but that tickles me pink like saying that. I really hope those are going to be good collections.
Well, it'll be interesting. See, I'm not a big fan so far of what I've seen on the Amiga, but I know people love that Amiga stuff, so I'm going to play it as much as I can to see if.
Yeah, we all exactly. We all have our own preference. But the only reason I do bring this up about things with the Picos and all that is it does feel like this year was the year of the easy licenses that they could get because they had to focus on hardware. You know what I mean? That's kind of the whole.
They didn't really, well, aside from the Alpha and kind of the redesign of the
Yeah.
XDR. And I mean, there is a redesign of the VSR, but they just literally just made it cheaper internally. So I don't know how much effort they put into that. I mean, you got the Super Pockets, but they already had that. It's just putting, different coat of paint on it and different ROMs on it for those different ones. So I don't really think they, other than the Alpha, I don't really think they really put too much into hardware.
No, but it's just more of like attention. It's just more of attention. And the only reason I do keep bringing this up is because what attracted me to the Evercade was their focus on software. So I hope they go like let me put it this way. Like initially when Evercade came out, it was such a cool thing. We didn't even care about this, like, at least at the time, like I didn't even care about the screen on the OG handheld. I just had like a love and appreciation for the games. You know what I mean? Like that's, and they'll go back.
To be honest, what I really liked about it was, and this is before even any of those arcade collections came out, but in a time where like almost everything like was coming out, most like they were everybody else was focusing on digital. And when something was released physical, it was more like, we'll just throw that out there. It's just like literally a disc in a case, and that's it. The Evercade was putting out like at least a cartridge in a clamshell case that was meant to be stored, and include a manual in there, regardless whether or not you wanted to read it or not. These were all games that we had seen before, but at least it was something to collect. But you know what? Evercade isn't the only thing out there right now that they're releasing, physical, things to collect. To be honest, I'm enjoying more collecting like what Atari has been releasing, because that is more or less exactly what we were buying way back when. One game, one box, one manual, not like a whole bunch of games crammed into one cartridge. So it's I don't know. It's just I'm paying more for a cartridge with one game on it for the 2600 or 7800, but I'm just finding it more satisfying.
Yes. Oh, before I comment, they said yes. Gene is like the Blaze medium. They'll be more. So yes, exactly. No, I'm glad to hear you say that, Kirk. That's what I've been saying. Like less is more. And I would like if they did a year of single game carts, I would be blown away. But I don't think they ever.
But okay, if they started releasing single game carts, and they started releasing them way more frequently, like this is the problem I had with limited run games, because they were releasing like game here or there every so often. And they got to the point where they were, and so I was like buying everything they were releasing because it was so spread out. And then they started releasing like 2, 3, 4 games a month, sometimes a week. It's like I can't buy all this. I'm not going to buy all this anymore. Now I don't really buy anything from them anymore.
That would be disgusting. Or truthfully, I think dual carts are kind of my favorite. But oh my god, so I'm laughing. And he said they went sex nuts on hardware. Never heard anyone say. Never heard anyone say that. I wish Pete was kind of here so I could see his reaction. Maybe on the replay. But yeah, no, that's why I always say less is more. And that's why a while back, I think I even said that like with some of the with some of the collections, I would have preferred that actually that we had lesser games and that they removed some of the sports games or some of the not as good titles, because sometimes I feel like it cheapens the collection. Yes, you can just not play them, but I don't know. But then again, if you're going to pay the same price, should they keep them there? But I do like the dual carts.
Like, I mean, Street Sports Baseball and Street Sports Basketball is one thing, because those are the first 2 Street Sports games. There are people that like those. I didn't really like them that much. But everybody knows that Street Sports Soccer and Street Sports Football were no good. Nobody likes those games. So I don't know why it wound up on a C64 collection.
It's more the hype. And I think, and I wonder, because we kind of keep seeing where Blaze kind of, they kind of trap themselves. And what I mean by that is like with the Duke, right? Like I think somebody asked last year, and I think I said like the Duke 1 and 2 cart was like the best cart in my opinion that they released last year. And then the Astro Bros for me was the second.
That's a good possibility. Last year, 2023. You know what? I'll find out what people really think when I get through my polls.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and I'll tell you why. And kind of like, and again, that's why I say like I judge a game, or judge games and carts by how plug and play they are. Like in other words, can I just play it? I don't mind figuring out the game, but am I going to have to like figure out just like the base mechanics?
Sometimes you do. That's the thing, is you have to figure it out sometimes.
Yeah, but the problem, but like, see, for me,
let me ask you a question. But some of them you can figure out even without looking at the manual. And a core one for me, because I played it recently, was Paradroid, because I kind of had, even kind of reading what I needed to do, I got to the transfer mini game where you're supposed to transfer from one robot to another, and I was like, "How am I supposed to play this mini game?" I couldn't figure it out. But after, I had saved the state before I started playing the game, so I kept going back to the save state to try the game again and again until I figured out, oh, I get what's going on here, and it took like maybe 5-10 minutes, and then I was like, okay, this is a really good game.
Yes, let me put it this way. I don't like the David Lynch experience, and kind of when I play, and kind of what I mean is kind of like sometimes some directors or people, they'll put out a movie, and to them it makes perfect sense, and they kind of think like the general mass and the general public should be able to think and play that way. That's kind of the difference. Like I like again, like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, but like anybody could pick up and play those games. Super easy to get the grasp of it, very complex to figure out what to do, and when I see a game where you have to, where like that doesn't have that, I see that as like a design flaw. Like it was like they designed it.
Are you saying that Paradroid has a design flaw because you can't immediately understand it at the second you start playing it?
I think, yeah, I guess so. Because I think like as far as like
it's one of the most popular games in the UK, at least, because it never really came out over here. So that's why I was willing to really look into it, because I knew a lot of people loved that game.
But don't forget though, back then it was a different time too, where whatever game you played,
and
you didn't.
Now is a different time too. So
yeah, but that's
every time is a different time.
No, but what I mean
it's a different time from when I first started the sentence.
Right. But what I'm saying is those design concepts I don't think hold up as much in 2024 because we don't have a lot of time.
But then why go back and play these games on the Evercade? Because they're all from a different time.
Because there's good ones, right? There's ones that are just.
And Paradroid is a good one. It is a really good one.
I'm trying to think where I was going. Yes, no, dude, I did. I loved Magic, and that's what I mean. Like playing.
That's the thing. You can play Magic, but you can't play Magic without understanding how to play Magic.
Yeah, but it's
never figured out how to play Magic.
Dude,
I figured out how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I never figured out how to play Magic or Pokemon.
Again, people no, believe me, I know. Like my brain works. Like things like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, those games made sense to me, and I caught on to the rules. And actually, I get frustrated when I listen to D&D podcasts and like people like don't know, like for like a string check, it's like, dude, why are you asking to roll a die 20 when you've been doing this podcast for 2 years? You should know. Anyways, but
I guess my point is like, okay, yeah, I understand your whole thing. You like games you could just pick up and play and that are fun. And you don't really need any instruction at all whatsoever to play them. However, just because you don't understand how to play a game doesn't mean it's not good.
Well, yeah, they're not good to me. Yeah, but like, and then the other thing that I kind of want to point out is it's just, is like at the end of like a 40-hour work week, when you just want to sit down for 30 minutes, let's say maybe like you only have like 30 minutes or an hour in a day to play a game. Do you really want to spend like that whole time like figuring out the basics when you could be enjoying it? That's kind of what it comes
to. I do, yes. I like to figure things out.
Yeah. No, and I do believe me, I do like in my work life and everything, but when it's kind of time to time to chill. But where like I was thinking I was going is that I think yeah, damn it. So where let your co-host speak.
Go really quick. Summer Games 2. I really cracked up the fact that you picked one event, and the one event you played was the one event in there I really didn't like.
That's funny. But kind of so like no, where it was kind of going of why I say for me why I like that the Duke carts and that the Astro Bros carts were some of the best ones, because if I put in a game and I can't stop playing it and I go back to it because it's fun and I actually want to beat it and it holds my interest. So for me, those are my requirements. Like the game, the game needs to be pick up and play. It needs to be fun. It needs to hold my interest. Then it's awesome. But now because like Blaze got that license, I think it's difficult to top that this year. And I was kind of hoping that now that they had the showcases and they were going to continue that trend, because that was awesome. You know what I mean? Like, were we going to get like a Commander Keen remaster this year or something? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, when I understood how the Duke Nukem remasters came into being, I understood, oh, this is just complete coincidence that Blaze fell into. So they're not in a plan like to do a Commander Keen unless the same circumstances happened again, where somebody had already remastered these games and they just went and got the license to put it on the Evercade.
Yeah. No, but what I would have liked to see Blaze do, like with all the popularity of Tetris, I would have liked them to like contract out and have somebody make like an exclusive version of like Tetris.
Yeah, is the Evercade the only handheld that ever exists that doesn't have Tetris on it so far?
Probably. Probably. Well, actually, the Neo Geo Pocket didn't have Tetris.
Oh, that's true. Maybe the Wander Swan didn't have Tetris.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, actually, it did. And that game is expensive. And the cool thing is you can play it in Tate mode. It's more like
So Neo Geo Pocket.
I would like Retro Future, but
I would take those.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
But if they did put Tetris on the Evercade, I know you'd love it, Ed, but wouldn't that go against your whole thing about discovery? Because you already know about Tetris.
Yeah, it doesn't go. But listen, on the Evercade, I just don't only want discovery. That's why I say I also want nostalgia. I would welcome a Konami collection. So somebody might say, well, why would if you have many different ways to play Castlevania, why would you want that? Because like the box being printed, the cart being printed, the booklet, the whole like nostalgia thing of like putting in a cart. Because I'm glad that you use Atari as an example, because I know with the Switch you can get physical copies, but it's not like a cart. You know what I mean? It feels more like a chip, or like it's like an SD.
To be honest, you know what? That's exactly how the Evercade cartridge feels to me, especially since I can plug it into my computer and read it like an SD card.
Oh yeah, I mean, like the shape and the feel of it, like that's the great thing with the.
I don't know if you knew this, but the reason the Evercade is using those cartridges the way they are, the reason they're the size they are, it's exactly the same as the Game Boy Advance. They're actually like the when I repaired an Evercade, the cartridge port slot that it plugs into is literally just a Game Boy Advance one. You could buy one off of Amazon or something like that. Game Boy Advance cartridge slot, plug it in, and not only that, but the Evercade is only using 8 of those 32 pins. Only 8 of them. And look at an SD card. 8 pins. It is literally just an SD card put into like a Game Boy Advance cartridge.
But it's awesome. But that's what I mean, though. But it's the look and the feel. Like versus Atari, it's a real cart and that you can put it on.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I figured that out, I was like, it kind of like the whole Evercade cartridge thing lost a little bit for me, because then it really didn't feel like an Atari cartridge, because you can't just plug that into a computer and read it.
No, I'm sure you could make a reader. No, but for me though, like the brilliant thing that they did do is they added that click. Hey, remember the channel crash line.
Like if I can make an adapter to read the cartridge literally from an SD card adapter, that means it's like an SD card to me.
Like I said, you're different. Most of us aren't going out there making. But no, I hear you. I hear them. But no, but that's the magic though. And that's what I say about like Evercade. Like they've captured that.
If you have an Evercade cartridge you don't care about, crack it open. You'll see there's no traces at all to most of those pins.
Well, you don't even have to do that. You can go to like Evercade and you can look. You can look at pictures.
Yeah, you can look at pictures of somebody that.
But people that given the number of cards, well, they are cheaper. But no, see the funny thing though with RGB TV, and I've seen this like a lot like on Reddit. Is that like it's highly exaggerated. So like let's say like here's like what I don't want to have. So like if you watch my video like where I had a Duke cart break, and then I had like the second Duke cart also break. The third one was fine. I'm gonna say of all the I like think about it. All like 50 plus carts I've had like 3, like maybe like 3 or 4 go back. But that's because I buy all of them. So and then there'll be like some people who maybe don't buy as much of them. Everything will fail, but like the numbers are highly exaggerated. It's not like a constant problem where they're failing all the time.
Well, here's the problem is that with like a regular cartridge, there's no way you could rewrite the information on it. But the Evercade cartridge is kind of being like an SD card. Like anything can kind of corrupt that. In fact, when I was working on making those adapters, I was corrupting some of those cartridges without realizing it because I made the cable too long. And it was misreading the files.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. It's Crow's fault. He distracted me. No, no. What would you like to see in 5 years? I'm a bit behind. I would honestly.
Well, not what would you like to see? Where do you see Evercade being in 5 years?
Weird. Cool topic. Behind the years. I'm behind a bit. Did you say where I think they'll be in 5 years?
Yes. We're almost at the 5-year point at this point. I think it's been 4 years. Mm-hmm. So they're obviously going to be around next year. I think they'll be able to be around in 6 years from, or not 6 years. Yeah, 6 years from now.
I think so.
Or I guess it's 5 years from now. I'm thinking like double the time.
I think so, but they need to. But here's what I don't want them to. So here's what I don't want them to do. I don't think I think they should stick with up to PS1. I don't want them to see, and I've said this before, I don't like, as much as I love Dreamcast, PS2, and all that, I don't want to see them get into that emulation territory, because now that makes the cost of everything go up. And with the handheld market being saturated with like all these different devices, I think I don't want to see them compete in that. What I want them to do is keep doing.
It's a little bit different because they're the only handheld device out there that actually takes cartridges. None of the other ones do.
Yes,
and they're also the only ones. Most of the only ones anyway, that is actually doing this in a way that, like make sure that the developer is getting something out of it.
Yes.
So, like Ambernick and all the other devices that are running all these emulation softwares, they're not giving anything back to the developers. I mean, they're meant
for you to throw your ROMs on there, and that's
exactly.
And some people might see the fact that if the Switch cartridges is not something I want to do. Why can't they just put all the games on the device and be done with it?
Exactly. And that's kind of my point. I don't want to see them get into that territory where, yes, it's a niche product, but I don't want to see them get into that territory because where it gets too expensive, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think affordability is always a core part of their message, even with something like Alpha on the horizon. That's just them branching out and saying, hey, look, yes, the core you can still get an EXP or a VSR at a reasonable price when they're available. And the Alpha is something that we were trying to branch out, and it's in a kind of an experiment kind of thing. I can see them internally thinking that, and I would agree to a certain extent that would be an okay thing. Now, in 5 years, what I see more. It's less about the hardware for me, and it's more about that wall that's going to grow. So, like during the show, I was actually organizing or reorganizing all of these multicolored boxes that I have all these games in. So I see in 5 years, I can't fit this on the shelf, right? I got to go find a wall somewhere where all these games exist. And I think that's where we're going in 5 years, because I really do think there is a way to get all the licenses and clean all the stuff up. And I would hope, it's my hope, that in 5 years, I look at that and go, you know what? I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been collecting these cartridges for 10 years. And I look at that wall and go, you know what? That is a microcosm. Now, it might be slanted towards the European audience, but that's where they cater to. As a European company, that's where they are catering to. That's completely fine with that. But that is a microcosm of probably the best collections of retro games outside of maybe one company of all time. And that's where I think they're going to be in another 5 years. I think I'm going to look at that and go, you know what? That was money well spent. That was time with friends well spent talking about all this stuff. I really enjoyed this journey. This is great. And hey, and after 10 years, if they just ran out of licenses and that's it, and they wrap it up, what a journey. What a journey that was. You know what I mean? That's what I at least I hope. That's what I hope that.
The only way they'd run out of licenses is if they just flat give up. There's plenty of licenses out there I'd like to see that are completely doable. Mm-hmm. That I have but the fact that they're European, maybe they're not looking at that. Like, I'd love to see, like, we're talking about Commodore 64 collections. yeah, we're tapped out of Epics and Usen. I don't know about Usen because they still got tons of stuff, but I want to see Accolade. If possible, Electronic Arts. They were like, that was when Electronic Arts was at their best.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So get that stuff.
And what is Electronic Arts doing with those licenses?
Well, it's the thing that they just probably won't want to give that up at all. That's why I don't think Electronic Arts. But Accolade, doesn't Atari own Accolade?
I think they might now.
They had tons of good games on the C64.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, I agree with you both on this. Like exactly what you said, Carl. Like, if they want, like, they will never run out of licenses. There's so much out there, and that's why. And I feel like moving on to a whole other generation of retro consoles, like they haven't explored it yet. Plus, like indie, So I'm really hoping that next year will be the year they'll go back to their roots. And not only that,
to be honest, I really think kind of the opposite of what Rich is saying. I think within 5 years, there's going to be like a new Evercade, and it may be backwards compatible with the new cartridges, but the cartridges they put out for this new Evercade won't work in the older model.
Yes, and that would have been like what Rich was saying about the Alpha. That would have been the problem if they had like been like, oh, we're having. Yeah, I could maybe see that in 5 years, but I hope at least up until and if it is another 5 years, then I think I would be more fine with that for them to move on. But I feel like there's still so. But
I also think some of the things they're promising for the Evercade now won't show up until they do that, because that's the kind of thing I think you might have to work into your plans, the planning stages.
Yeah,
like we're talking about things like online leaderboards, achievements.
That's what
those
I mean.
Kind of things. I really don't think they're gonna put those in the way the Evercade's set up now.
It might be too hard to place inside of the firmware that they have, based on the fact that they didn't have that idea from the get-go. And it is really hard to implement those. I mean, think of Sony. Think of what happened to Sony. So they didn't have some of those things.
The trophies,
like the trophies and all that kind of stuff. Took them years to figure it all out. By the time they did, they basically did a revamp of the entire OS because it was a beta for the next OS for the PlayStation 4.
And also these when we're talking about leaderboards and trophies and stuff, if they ever did that in the Evercade, it would only be for newer cartridges. It wouldn't be out for the cartridges we have now.
I would be fine with that. I'm just like saying start with something. But what Genejoke and RGB TV said, the other thing they do need to start doing more like original content and making games to like attract people over. They need to start doing that. And I'm actually shocked that they haven't done that, because there's so many indie developers out there who would make it an exclusive game.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so. Why would you, if you were an indie developer, why would you limit your game to the smallest audience there is?
I'll tell you, because there's a good, like, in something, let's say like Steam or itch.io that's like oversaturated, it would kind of be like the VS, right? Like the VS is a lot smaller of a, and that's like, I know that's one of the things like Rich loves about it. Like you can get like most of those same games on Steam, but it's more focused. It's maybe like 100 of so.
But you're saying that they put it on the Evercade, but not make it available anywhere else, and I can't see any indie developer going for that. But yeah, sure, put my game on the Evercade, give it some exposure, but I still want to be able to sell it on Steam.
Well, wasn't Full Void one of those titles?
No,
Didn't Full Void came out on Evercade first.
No,
maybe, but even so, if it did, it was very close. It's like it was out on Steam.
Yeah, it was within a couple months, but I thought it did release on Evercade first.
See, that's the other thing, even physical, or maybe they have an exclusive where like after 6 months it can go to other platforms, but you'll only be able to get like a physical cart unless you buy like the actual like Nintendo, something like that. That's what I kind of mean. Like they need to.
I don't really know if that's for an indie game, if that's too much of an incentive. I think most people would just wait the 6 months, a year to play.
But there are some developers where it is difficult, like in an oversaturated market, to get your game out there and get and to get attention to it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, get attention to it. They would agree to put it on the Evercade, but not to make it Evercade exclusive.
But they need to do something. Right now, because right now the Dukes are exclusive.
No, you can play that for free on a browser right now. That's how I discovered it.
The remasters?
Yeah, you can't play the remasters on a browser. I
found the website. You can play. Like when I was doing research on it, That's how I discovered it.
Not the ones that Blaze made.
Yes.
Dude,
Blaze didn't make those games. Somebody had already remastered those games. Blaze just went and got the license to put it on the Evercade.
Yeah.
It's the only official release. But that's not to say you have to have an Evercade to play it.
Yeah, but you'd have to show me that. I would, if it is the same version, then it's illegal.
I'd have to find it again. So
yeah, but, I'm gonna call bullshit until you show me, my friend. I'm sorry. I want proof of that.
I checked it out for myself. You could play it in a web browser.
Yeah, but the exact same one. That's a very bold claim. Like I would need to.
I'm not kidding.
I was gonna say find that and show me, because that's that hasn't been released on Steam, that hasn't been released on Switch, and a lot of people are wanting
Yeah, it's not going to get any official release unless somebody licenses from Gearbox the Duke Nukem license. That's why it's on Evercade. So that's not why it's anywhere else. Maybe Blaze did get the exclusive rights to be able to publish it. I want to say they did,
but I want to say they did, because with like Doom remasters, Tomb Raider all these remasters, I want to say that they did. That they did get that. But that's what I mean, that like and I guess what it comes down to is, yes, Evercade is a niche device, but they need to do more things to attract mainstream, and they started to do that last year. You know what I mean? Because and they did that this year with Tomb Raider and Legacy of Kain. But I guess my hope is that does that cancel out like all the Picos and all the computer collections that a lot of people don't want, or that they just kind of look at. Now, I'm not saying there isn't an audience for that. It's just like in a world where people expect more, you've really got to be innovative to keep people's attention. You know what I mean? Like, or do that's why I keep saying that, like, or Blaze, I don't want Blaze to go the way of like Sony and make a $200 million or $400 million mistake. You know what I'm talking about? Like by basically releasing a hero shooter that nobody wanted, that was way out of touch because of hubris and all that. There is a bad like positive toxicity can be a bad thing. And I know sometimes maybe people get on me for complaining or whatnot, but I think it's important to call things out and not say everything is like unicorns and rainbows, because otherwise then then that product stays stagnant. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always kind of torn, because yes, I'm going to buy every single collection, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Well, that's why I kind of put the disclaimer. Like, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would skip. But I just want to make it clear to people that, like, I'm, some things are some Evercade stuff is collectible. They're all experiences. Like I was even looking at like Jumpman Jr. I actually had like a lot of fun, and that was a C64 game, and that was like the best game on that card. Like I had like a lot of fun like playing that game, and it was worth it for that experience.
Second best game.
But what's the best one?
Best game. What was it? It was Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash was fun. I forgot about Boulder Dash, but I found that. But like Jumpman Jr. though, I actually found myself like playing that like a lot, like when that and like.
Well, if you like that means that Jumpman must have been your favorite game in C64 Collection 1.
Actually, Jumpman I liked, but I think at that time they fixed it. They fixed like Jumpman Jr. though. They fixed it. They made the controls better. I feel like they did.
It's exactly the same. It's literally exactly the same.
It feels like it plays better though. I don't know. There's just
the only thing they improved with Jumpman Jr. was the menu options. You couldn't play multiplayer in the first one, and also it was kind of hidden. Where how in Jumpman Jr. asks you what speed you want to play as. In the original Jumpman, that was kind of a hidden option. Like you had to push the button as the game was loading to choose your speed.
Yeah, and I was even willing to mess with that, but I'm just like I'm just saying I've had a lot of fun experiences. It's just if somebody who's brand new to Evercade, like I couldn't recommend those carts unless unless like they really loved. Same reason I couldn't recommend like Atari carts unless like somebody.
I'll give you a little preview on what I gave 4 of those games in the C64 Collection 3 a 9 out of 10.
Damn.
One game an 8 out of 10, and another 5 games a 7 out of 10.
Oh, I'm glad that GPTV brought this up, because like the Full Void Limited, yeah. No, and it's not just that when it's a problem. Like with a lot of like limited editions, they just give you like stickers and pins, stuff that like. I mean, that's cool if you're into that. But I wasn't really into.
I mean, the people that did limited edition or collector's edition games the best, I think. You know, like were OG Working Designs. Those packages were awesome. You know, cloth maps and like artifacts from the game that were physically reproduced. You know, like here's like, you know, Luna's amulet or whatever. And it was like, that's cool. Like that's neat.
Yes.
You know? Another one though that I really liked was one of my favorite modern limited editions was the Uncharted 3 limited edition for Drake's Deception. Came with a statue of Nathan Drake, and then inside there was like these like drawers, and in each drawer there were like different pieces of Nathan Drake's outfit. Like it was this belt buckle, the ring, and then there was something else. I forget what it was, like something like a part of a strap or something like that. It was pretty cool. Punching Puppet Galleon. Yes. Yeah. That was a pre-order bonus for the first for Silver Star Story Complete. I had that.
Awesome. Like that's kind of what I want. Like like give me cool little physical trinkets and figures, like posters and stickers and stuff. Like I don't know. The pins don't do it for me. Yes, we've tried. We've tried Soka Banana. Actually,
guess what?
Soka Banana.
And I played it on Polymega. What's up?
I found it. I posted the link in the chat.
No way. In the private chat?
Because the guy who did the Duke Nukem Remastered, he created this thing called the Rigel engine.
Mm-hmm.
Here, put it in the.
So he posted it on GitHub, but he also had a web-based. He put it on a website. So it's
put it in the private chat. I think YouTube.
No, I put it in the regular chat.
Yeah, I think YouTube ate it. I can't see it.
That's why I said put it in the private chat.
Oh, well,
yeah.
There we go.
Let's bring this up.
We would have to, like, there's also a GitHub page, but like if we start it, if you hit enter, that takes you to the menu, and I think you could go in and change the options much like you can in the Evercade version.
Oh, it's kind of cool.
Let's take a look at this. Welcome to the right web version. Okay. Yeah, but you have to like.
Here, press escape to enter the main menu. There's a text box at the bottom. You have to close that window down to actually play. Close this message.
Yeah, dude, this isn't the remaster.
Hit enter.
Yeah, dude, this isn't the.
Hit enter. You have to go into the options.
Pressing enter.
Okay, press escape. Maybe it's escape. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Game options. See, it's all laid out differently. There's enhancements. There's an enhancements tab. Widescreen mode. Smooth scrolling. It's there.
All right, so let's say if I pick this. And we do start a new game. Let's see, is it the exact? Okay. So you can actually, no, I asked for proof. So if I'm going to like,
yeah, you got your proof. I told you.
So if we are being technically, yes, you can play a version of it. Technically, it's not Blaze's version because it doesn't have the copyright. If we're being technical,
it is better to play it on the Evercade. But this is where Blaze got it from. This is where they got the idea to put it on the Evercade. So
no, you're right. I wanted to know. I did demand proof, and you came through. So I have to like bow my head in shame.
Because I was starting to think, is like, did they take it down because it was like it's been a year since I looked at it.
That they
But there's a GitHub page. You could
it could be an
it might be an inler version, but you can go to the GitHub page, download it. I mean, but it's still a version of it, so it's technically not exclusive.
Yeah, we could argue about being technical. So you can download a version of it, but it's not going to be like as easy to play, and you don't have a cart.
I think you can still use a controller, but
Yeah.
It's
See, this is
Duke
what I
Nukem.
love. Like,
You mostly played it with a keyboard
Yeah.
in the back in the day anyway.
See, this is what I love when like Ryan and Sean would come out and hang out on Evercast, because then they could comment and they could say, "Oh, that was an earlier build," or "Yeah, I wish."
Oh
wish
yeah,
somebody.
no doubt they fixed some things up.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you can technically go and play like a version, but I was like, it couldn't be the exact same one, or I'm like, that would be illegal. But it looks like this is from the source before.
Well,
that.
it wouldn't necessarily be illegal. It's just non-licensed.
No, like if they took that's what it's like if they took the exact version that you could buy on the carts, because that one is licensed. I don't know what.
No, because that one That was built first before the carts.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's not the exact same one that's on Blazes. I know it's kind of like who's on first, but yeah, that's right.
Like what Blaze did was they just made a different kind of HUD to select those options.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's funny. You can play it and make a video. Can you play Duke in a web browser?
And again, that was Duke Nukem 2. There's got to be one for Duke Nukem, the first Duke Nukem. So, yeah. Maybe that one. Maybe the first one isn't there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. What about like the first one? But that is wild though. I need to save that. I need to save that link, because I was like, that's kind of crazy.
And I'm gonna get going because it is 11 o'clock.
He's got a wedding to go to. Anything you want to plug?
Well, I gotta eat lunch first. Otherwise, I'm not eating until 5 o'clock or later. Yeah, well, what's going on? I'm still working on C64 Collection 3, but I got to make pinball a little bit more of a priority since I'm trying to put a video out a week, and I'm going to run out already next week, Friday. Because I had just posted the one for Godzilla versus Kong versus Godzilla, or whatever that table's called. Next week, I'm doing Fishtails. I already have that ready to go, but I'm gonna have like less than a week to actually do the next one, which I got a whole lot of requests, so I'll have to look through those requests and figure out which one I need to do. But that's gonna take priority for me over creating a video. So I'll probably work on both. That's not tomorrow, but the next Sunday after that. See if I can work on this Evercade stuff beforehand. I don't know, maybe I will. I need some time to record audio. That's pretty much all I need. But yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Sweet, man. Well, enjoy the wedding.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I kind of don't want to go.
You saw him like look around to make sure his wife wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm out. I don't think she wants to go either.
He's kind of happy. It's like, I'm out, but I'm going to keep my screen blank.
No, I'm gone. I'm trying. It's hard to find the buttons.
I didn't know if he was just like, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here. And
that's good stuff. Be here in spirit.
Yeah, but no, some good discussions going. Me and Crow back and forth. Yeah, that is crazy. There is like a version. I just always have to challenge him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Roscoe. That's an interesting little tidbit there about the original DN2 soundtrack, because during the remastering process, there was a remastered soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, we've got Ed has gone. He's gone freezies. Is it up to me? I just got attacked by a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, there he is.
A little bit.
There he is. Yeah. He's back.
I was about to log in on my phone. I was like, damn it, like that.
Yeah.
Something weird in my area, man. Something weird in my area. I'm like, I'm just gonna log in on my phone.
That's all right. Because when I got up before, I hit my knee on the table, and then all of a sudden all this stuff started falling at me. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I walked out of the room, and then like more stuff was falling as I was going out. Like, I don't know if like it's done yet. Like, I don't know if it's like I had a localized earthquake. I just got attacked by things.
Oh god, it's like Evercade cards. Like, no.
Well, there's one thing that I've been trying to work on that's directly Evercade related in the background, and I just haven't gotten the chance to even sit down and like look at it. And it will solve the problem of at least these things falling at me. It'll be done. There'll be no more falling. It'll be great. I'm very excited about this. But
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I can't wait. No, what I was gonna I was gonna say when we were back at the topics talking about the resiliency of Evercade carts. I was going to say if anybody was ever curious, like, could an Evercade cart survive a flood? I say check out Rich's restorations.
Oh yeah, yep. We answer that question and many more on
Yeah.
that thing. And there's quite the stack that's building up. I've been going through the box and actually just stacking up carts for future episodes. So I'm very excited to get back to that. It'll be really cool when we finally be able to do all the things.
Yeah. I want to say the thing that seems to be consistent, if there is a game with a battery in it, then you have a higher chance of like the cart having damage because the battery just goes. That's kind of what
That's true.
Yeah.
I've experienced that many times.
Yeah. Not to spoil your videos, but I'm really I'm really surprised, like the resiliency, like the OG one Pico cards. It's like, oh my god, like it's like
all those cards were really like resilient. And the other thing too is like some of the older, like some of those Sega Master System cards, like they hold up really good, even like batteries or no. Because I was shocked, just shocked that my copy of Phantasy Star was like half made it.
Yeah,
like it's not amazing. So I'm very thankful to have the one right here from our buddy Fan and Fiction. But at the same time, shocking, just absolutely shocking that it even booted. So pretty wild.
Yeah, it's amazing a physical card like versus like all like CDs wouldn't survive. Oh God,
that's awesome. Yes. That was almost me. Although I only have one Sega CD box, so that would have been a little embarrassing to get buried under a pile of one Sega CD box.
Oh my God, RMGB TV. Those are like Genejoke
so bad though.
Levels of comedy. That's freaking hilarious. That might be the funniest thing that's been said.
That's good. That's a good time.
God, that was.
There's all sorts of stuff. I put too many things around me, and they're all like precariously perched. So like the next thing that happens, I was once crushed by a. Oh no, that's a story.
Dude, yeah,
that's crazy.
But luckily though, in Gene's case, because I was told it was. Oh, yeah. Dude, that's hilarious. Yeah, I was gonna say because in his case he's a squid, and like squids like squishy, and so it would bounce off from it. I think he was able to hold a few with his tentacles.
There you go.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Games for consoles, love little PC. Yeah.
Yes.
The Fleet Fuel. Yeah, that's crushed by 200 credit. Oh my God.
That's too good. That is too good, man. So yeah, I mean, this feels good. This feels good to be back.
Yeah, no kidding.
Talking, chatting games and stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
It was brutal. We'll have to do that. Like when we get the card stars aligned, I'm gonna have to tell you the story. So we'll do that on Karg. I'll tell you the story of what happened in September. It was like literally one thing after another. It was a crit. I don't think I've ever had as many things happen in succession. Personal, professional, geek related, all at once, all in this month. It's been absolutely nuts. So
yeah, it's crazy. That's life. It's like, yeah.
No, you can't have big box Evercade cards. No.
There's one exception. And so like in Japan, like they'll have like specialty like pop-up shops, right? Yeah. And they have like SNK store, and some T-shirts they sold them like in the OG like SNK like cases, which like looked really cool. Yeah. So that could have inspired them. Like if we ever get a Neo Geo collection, do a special edition that comes in that big case, and then there's like a little compartment. Then there's like the little itty bitty Evercade thing, and maybe there's like a T-shirt and other goodies like thrown in the box. So you need a bigger box. That would be the only exception. Like
that would be cool. Yeah. Well, as long as the special edition had a normal size Evercade box in the box.
Ooh.
Then I'm okay. Any special edition that comes like that, I'm good, because I need to be able to then put the thing in the shelf all Evercade carts need to be in the same shape boxes.
Oh, I love that. That's even better, dude. Because then you actually have it be in its own like
special edition box somewhere over here, and then you have the one right here, so you can grab it and play. Yeah,
that's perfect. I love that. That's even
even
better. That's even better. Yeah,
I got ideas.
Please make it happen. Yeah, a box in a box, kind of like one of those like
yeah, man,
or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, do it. Yes, do that way.
Oh, we've given plenty. Like the Katie
calendar.
Hey, he wants to exploit Katie. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one where my dirty mind went there.
I like the Katie fireman calendar.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Next Katie will be like turning tricks on the corner. It's like, my God.
Oh no,
Katie. Poor Katie. Poor Katie. That's what nesting doll boxes. Yeah.
Going real quick, going back to the thing though. I'm looking at this wall, right? Of all the collections that had collection 1 but no collection 2s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we should probably get one of those soon.
Yes.
You know, we never got a Codemasters 2. We never got a Worms collection 2, but you know.
No to both those, no.
I mean, I'll take a Codemasters 2 if it's got Micro Machines on it. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, that would be an exception.
Put Micro Machines on a collection 2? Done. I'm in.
I nearly spit out of my coffee. Yes, we want pixelated. We want pixelated sexiness, Gene.
Nice. And then a Jellicoe collection.
We kicked him off.
Yeah, Jellicoe collection 2, right? We could finally solve the Tetris mystery with Jellicoe collection 2. Because then we just put this on it. And there you go.
Dude, that would be fantastic.
And that's it.
I only want a Gremlin 2 collection because I think for me, I think it would make for great content, but I don't think it would help.
Oh, Gremlin 2? Yeah.
Yeah. Or Gremlin 3.
Yeah, why not? Wait, we didn't get a Gremlin 2, did we?
No.
Yeah. But they just make a Gremlin 3 and just forget Gremlin 2? Like Troll?
Who made that up? That was kind of like the joke. I forget who said that. Yeah.
What? Oh, about Troll? Oh, that was like Troll 2 was a movie, and then there was no Troll 1. It's pretty good,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Blue Gremlin 2, yes.
Oh, God, that might be better.
I don't know. Would they? I don't think they've done that though.
Everfest.
I don't think they've ever crossed over where they had like because Technos has 2 carts, but it's arcade 1 and collection 1.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that. It would be Gremlin Computer Collection.
There was a Troll 1? Oh. Well, what was there? There was like some kind of movie series where they put out a 2 and not a 1. Or they put out a 2 and it had nothing to do with the other one. Well, they already did that with Halloween. Halloween 3 has nothing to do with Halloween at all. It's pretty good.
I was gonna say, with the exception of Pete, everyone else like wants that because like Tetris is
Yeah. I mean, I don't even need a collection. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Jellicoe Collection 2, put Tetris Plus on it. Done.
Yeah.
You don't even need to call it Tetris. You just need to get that one. Oh, Troll 2 had nothing to do with 1. Okay, so that was the thing. So there was a Troll 1, but then they made Troll 2 and has nothing to do with it. Okay. Yeah.
But it seems like I thought Tetris was pretty chill to like license. I mean, here's the thing: they are putting out that Tetris collection, but I don't think it doesn't have like the NES or the Game Boy versions on it, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll take anything, but you know, for the way to go, because you already have the relationship with the company, because you have an arcade collection, you've got a regular collection. Just making another, because there's tons of Jellicoe games. There's tons more that you can put out.
Yes.
No, it's not that he doesn't like Tetris. It's just that he doesn't have. He's one of those guys that is like, there's no reason to put Tetris on the Evercade because you can have Tetris on literally everything else.
He said like when he was like a security guard or something that he played like a lot of. He had like a job like that, like when he was younger.
Yeah.
Tetris and got sick of it, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've ebbed and flowed with Tetris, but ever since classic Tetris World Championships, I'm like I'm all the way back in.
Yeah.
You know, because you gotta like keep your finger on the pulse because there's a goal. There's a goal now. The community is all about trying to get Rebirth, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't even believe though, like the insane amount of talent that it takes to play that game at that level. It's just ridiculous. So
no, it really does. But I mean, like Tetris helped like push the Game Boy and all and all that, and that's why I think like I've heard term people say like Tetris is in a way like a perfect game because the way like it appeals to everybody, the mechanics of it. I don't know. There's just like a lot of and there's nostalgia behind it, but it's interesting though that it's very pop. Like as far as like for like that's why there's like Tetris championships and
yeah. That was Halloween 3, sir. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. That was the one about the haunted Halloween masks. Silver Shamrock. There's a whole TV jingle that's still it's actually in my brain right now, and I'm like, oh no, why did I say Silver Shamrock?
Silver Shamrock. Yeah, I have that on my Spotify favorites playlist, and sometimes skip it.
Of course you do. Oh my goodness, man, that's awesome.
I don't know if I'm picking that up. Maybe that's more of a wait on. It's funny. It's one of those things. As much as I do love like Tetris, like they've made movies and documentaries, and I've kind of seen all that. You know what I mean? Like the Tetris movie. I guess this, so it's kind of like, what more is there that they could say about Tetris that we don't know? I hope I'm wrong, but.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is true that there's been a lot of stories, but even in some of the documentaries, there's still stories that exist that haven't been told.
Sure, sure. But
they're just not as glamorous.
Yeah. The movie that they made on HBO is pretty neat. And I guess you get to play that remake of like the original. Oh God. Don't go. Oh God. No, for me, it's just I don't know. Maybe it's on I go back and forth on a quest, like the perfect, like what would be, what's my best way to experience Tetris, and I don't.
Yeah.
Really don't. I see a Monty Mole collection on Switch. What the hell's Monty Mole?
I don't know. Yeah, kind of cool.
Tetris confirmed. Yeah, because like the mod, like here's the thing, right? Like the mod retro, that new that new Game Boy Color FPGA that's come out in December, that has its own like version of Tetris, and I know Tetris will license out. I mean, so I'm kind of, and that's what I mean. I'm kind of surprised that Blaze didn't entertain or have like a Super Pocket Tetris and a cart. I don't know. Yeah. Oh my God, dude, that would be epic as hell.
Wonder Boy collection.
Yes, my God.
Yeah, I'll take all of those things.
It's Monty Mole Gremlin from back in the day. Yeah, and that's going to go back earlier. Like, I think 5 years, like what you said, Rich, beautifully, I think we describe Evercade, like 5 years from now, hopefully they will have gone and explored and eventually gotten all those licenses. And I know that like Blaze has said in the past that timing for licenses is everything too. So maybe, they're releasing all this stuff digitally and on other consoles. And then it's like, okay, well, they're not doing anything with it. They've sold however many copies. We're like, fine, Blaze, we'll sell you a license.
Yeah, and I think that's some of those things. I think is how this all works, right? The longer it goes, the more companies look at somebody like Blaze and go, well, man, they've been around for forever, and they got like several hundred games on their console. Like, why wouldn't we at this point? Like, why wouldn't we want our games on there too? Because someone's gonna buy them, and then that's like the logic, right? The longer they go, and the longer they keep doing these deals, and I think even still, like, stuff will come back around. I still think within the next 5 years, I even think we see Atari back, and doing business with Blaze again, for sure. They pulled back because they have a conflicting business arrangement, right? They're putting their own games out the way they want to in singles with their boxes and all that kind of stuff. But there's going to be an ebb and flow for that too. People are going to get either tired of it, or they're going to release as many games as they possibly can, and the interest isn't going to be anywhere. They're going to need to do stuff with their licenses. They're going to relicense again. Of course, that's what they're going to do. But I still think we see that back too. Are there any more games from the Intellivision library that could go to a third collection? Don't think it's possible now that Atari owns the library. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the rub. There are tons. Now, the cool thing about this though is, although they own the IP the original IP from the 125, you still should be able to get homebrew. And there are more than 125 homebrews. So there's collections for days on Intellivision if they wanted to go reach out to people and do that. So, like, you know, Electronite, Intellivision Revolution, Intelligent Vision, like all those companies that are making homebrews, you know, they didn't get bought by Atari, and they have their stuff around. And yes, that's you get into like that like, you know, because some of their games are like reimaginings of other IP that are owned by other companies, so there could be gray area there as far as officially licensing those cards. But I think for some of those, you could definitely do that. And there's great, just straight homebrews. You know? Yeah. Well, Andrew Joyce was like, there's homebrews and there are good homebrews. Yeah, 100%. You know, like, although there are more than 125 homebrews for the Intellivision, I would venture to guess there's a collection's worth at least of excellent homebrew games for the Intellivision, and I would love to see those. That would be great.
We've been kind of saying that for a while, like the Intellivision library, like more computer heroes, right? Like, what was that one, like the only MSX2 game that we got like on home computers, home computer heroes, you know, like that one that was kind of like Reston Saga. The thing that's neat is you can go to their website, you can download it for free if you want to. And the reason I bring that up, there's tons of like aftermarket and homebrew games like that are put out there that are free, but like I know we'd be willing to pay for those in a collect, you know. And I think Intellivision might be in the same. I mean, yeah, they can't put like the remake of like Super Mario Brothers on there, but you know, there's other. Yeah, I'm really surprised that Blaze hasn't tapped into that, and that's kind of what I mean. They need to tap into that market of more exclusive stuff. Like, yeah, maybe you could download some of the stuff for free, but here's let's make it easy for you. Here's the discovery. Here's an official thing. Yeah. But yeah, like ColecoVision falls into that category too, where I think there's more homebrew than that, you know, than the actual like real game.
And that is one of those things that is you know, the case, you know, like when you get that kind of a thing where it's homebrew for ColecoVision that winds up going instead of the regular ColecoVision games, because those are all you know, tied in different licensing, right? So like, a lot of ColecoVision was licensed properties on this thing that looked a little and performed a little better than on Atari and Intellivision. So, you know, where people would like those versions of those games, it doesn't necessarily make any sense to go after those because you're double and tripling up your licensing right there. Plus, most of the more popular games, they're either with Sega or Nintendo, or you know, like now you get a bigger problem. So there's that. Yeah, we're good, Tony. Yeah, we were talking about that at the beginning of the show. It's good times.
Okay.
Good times. Yeah, great Gianna sisters. I mean, why not, right?
So here's a great and I needed to find the specific YouTuber to give a shout out, and I think you all might be familiar. And this falls exactly in the category. So what I was gonna like, so if you all have never heard of like Retro Revisited, right? He comes out with a video like once a month, and it is like a retro roundup. The funny thing is, sometimes in the past, I'm like, what about Evercade? But so yeah, subscribe to his channel. He comes out with a great 5-minute video. And the reason I bring this up is there's a section for homebrew games that are free that come out like every single month, like across like all platforms. Like he'll put that, and there's like unreleased games, and like the reason there's like a lot of those games that would be perfect that could come to Evercade. And that's why I bring that, you know, actually I've been watching him before, like even before like I did my own channel. But it's neat though. It's like it's like a 5-minute summary every single month of all like retro stuff coming out, whether it's like official, paid for, or free. Retro Revisited. And so yeah, because the thing is that like the people, let's say, who do make a game like that, where it's not a fan game because they own the rights and for free, and Blaze comes along and he says, hey, we'll give you a couple of bucks for every cart that sells, they're going to say yes. They're like, okay, if I can make some money off of it, why? And that's kind of the theme. That's why like Indie Heroes works. Even though I think like, you know, they do like sell those games digitally and physical. But yeah, Chronic the Hedgehog.
Chronic the Hedgehog.
But yeah, I think definitely Blaze needs to see more of that. Like for me, when I got hooked was like Xenocrisis. When I got that cart, I'm like, we need to see more stuff like that. And then we've gotten like the Morph Cat collection. Like I want to go back, you know. I want Blaze to kind of go back to that and kind of give us and kind of give us more of those like double A indie games, if I'm using like the right term,
Yeah.
like kind of like the right term. And there's tons of them out there, and that's what I mean. Like what they could be exploring those licenses and getting a hold of maybe try getting a hold of those authors. But yeah, I want to see more of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, that'd be an interesting like gear change, especially for Blaze for sure. To use the Hyper Mega Type Gun to like kind of like help a dude out. They are a hardware company, they are indeed a hardware company. So, and it is 100% like, where what's going on right now with Amico Entertainment is all software based. Yeah, they're going to need some help somewhere, somehow. Why not, right? There might be some like weird things though. I mean, who knows though? I don't know. That's an interesting thing. I would say though, if anyone was going to get help in that sense, based on your previous comment, I agree with you. Atari's doing lots of really awesome things. I think that might be the angle, to be honest, to get them on their hardware division to try to do something, because don't forget now, Atari's got their hands in two different hardware piles, their own from what they're doing with the Atari 7800 and 2600 plus the the VCS, even though that wound down on that fab. They're still looking for another fab for that. They also own a 49% share in Polymega, and they've got access to all those production facilities too. I mean, I think that is where, if it was me, that's where I would go when it comes down to trying to get that done. That's where I would lean, because they've already done the relationship with the IP sale anyway. So why not, right? So
true.
Yeah,
true. And I think to kind of wrap things up, RMGB Atlas, surely it'll be a double banger. Yeah, at least one dual indie. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, I think that is easy speculation. That one of them is going to be a dual cart, and the other one is going to be something along the lines of like possibly like a Home Computer Heroes 2 or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So next round of pre-orders Monday. I would say that I think the pre-orders will get released when the Super Pockets get released. The week the Super Pockets actually get to doors, which I've heard is going to be mid-October. I think that's what's going to happen there. And then on top of that, that is also like the day before that, you're going to get that announcement. You're going to get the announcement of that week. So, yep. Hold on a second. Hold on.
I was going to say hello, Bacon Jr. But yeah, and that'll be for Toplin. That'll be like for Toplin 3 and Data East 2, which I kind of, again, as much as I'm looking forward to the Legacy of Kane and Bitmap, I wish we got those arcade cards this month. I don't know. So yeah, I will. Oh, okay. Toplin and Data East pre-orders are for Monday. Cool. So that is confirmed. Yeah, Genejoke confirmed.
Toplin Data East pre-orders Monday?
Yeah.
Wait, Toplin Data East. Oh, for
yeah.
Yes, that's right. Because I forgot that they announced that, and then like it got like sucked away.
Yeah.
You already know what those cards were, so
yeah. So cool, dude. I'm happy you were able. Yes, I'm like, dude, you've been like missed like so much. So,
thanks, man. I mean, I've been.
I know. I understand.
Yeah, and I've been missing everybody there. Like, not only here, but in my own community on the other channel, man. I think it's been 2 solid weeks since I've had an actual release, and then the GTC members know what's going on. I gave a GTC exclusive video out last week, but with the intention of what I was going to be like, I'm going to be on Evercast on Saturday, and that didn't happen. And then I had a whole slate of videos supposed to go out this week, and they never happened. So
it's a good segue into it. So, are we going to be able to see some content from you next week?
For this week, yes, absolutely. Because this weekend it's kind of like dreary and like just rainy out. So we're just gonna be chilling in the house most of the weekend. So I'm gonna shoot a whole bunch of stuff. We're probably gonna do a little box opening action. We've got 2 new games on Atari VCS release, so I got to do Fun for Fives on those. I want to do Fun for Fives on Soko Banana because I want to actually compare it to my experience on Polymega, because Polymega has a version of Soko Banana on it that I already found for $5. So I want to do a like kind of a comparison on that. I think my VS here in Studio A has the old firmware, and I don't think I did the other previous version of the game of the month. So I'll go back and do that too before I do that. And also, the big firmware came out. 4.0 came out, so I'm gonna wind up doing like a preview of the firmware and see like what the differences are, and if I can scare up a compatible analog controller, trying to find a game that will work with it. So there we go.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's all that, and then of course during the week on Thursday possibly, we'll see if we can get that car again. And get back up and running.
Yeah, I've been missing. Yeah, I've been missing that too. So yeah,
heck yeah, man. This Fantasy Star card's been staring at me. It's like, hey, let's finish this thing. So I say, let's finish this thing for sure. So anyway, that's what I got.
Awesome.
I was
gonna say I will be back here either tomorrow night or tomorrow morning, depending on where you live in the world. Going live, and yeah, as long as people are able to help me out, I'll be trying to get through Tomb Raider. I think I'm like 6 or 7 levels through, and like played over 10 hours, like a 15. So there's a lot to go. I do enjoy that, but that's kind of like my limit to where I feel Tomb Raidered out. Like I can get through one, because it takes at least it takes me seems like an hour and a half to get through one level, because there's a lot. I mean, there are a lot of I distract myself a lot too, but it's all part of the fun. And then hopefully next week I'll be able to do my first impressions on Legacy of Kain. I think because that's just 2 games, so I think that'll be easier for me to do. And then of course some point I'll have to follow up on the C64 cart that I haven't really felt the urge to play. Although I did have fun. What the hell? Whatever game that was that Gene helped me get through, that really weird one where the frogs are in a questionable sexual position in the beginning. Those green guys, whatever the hell you want to call it. Creature Soup, yeah.
Oh,
actually, yeah, because he kind of walked me through. It's oh my god, it's kind of nuts. And then I was able to do the second level. Then the third level is another puzzle that he wasn't even familiar with. So
yeah,
we'll have to do that. But anyways, yeah, I think we'll go. I think we'll go ahead and call. This has been awesome. Happy to see that Rich was able to join us and all that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And I finally have my members up to date. We'll go ahead and thank everybody, and we'll see you later.
See ya.
Thanks, Crash Line, Mr. Shua, Immortal Sojourn, Sucker MC, Ember Cummings, Joe Whitlash.